All right. Hey, guys, welcome back to howtobuycrypto.com. My name is Marco, and it looks like, I got the notification. I should be going live. Hopefully, you guys are going to be able to hop in here with me here in a minute. If not, we'll just go ahead and get started. I do want to say we will be doing the Bitcoin giveaway, and I'm excited about that. We've done this before, and you guys liked it, and so I'm giving out $100 worth of Bitcoin. And this, look at that, $12,000. What's kind of fun is I released this on the 5th. It's the 7th today, and this was a $12,000 yay. I'm gonna have to change that to what, 19K now, which is incredible. And hey, maybe I'll have to change it every day and it'll keep going up. But hey guys, kudos to the people that are thinking long term, holding on to Bitcoin, or are moving into Bitcoin even now. We are excited to have you. The market cap is going up like crazy, so hopefully if you're getting in more recently, then you're not going to be, scared about big swings, because if you're in crypto, if you're in any market, you're going to see volatility, but especially crypto. So for those of you that have been following, for a while, you guys have heard me, say about the heads up of when this happens, and, saying, that I've held through, huge dips, like 40% corrections. And I've also traded them on the way down. I've also, bought back in on the bottom, and, sold at the top, bought back in at the bottom. So any way you want to do this, if you're a long-term holder or if you are a trader, hey, hopefully we can share some news with you, and you guys can learn from it. So let me get into some shout outs. Hey guys, thank you very much for being a part of the group and contributing to the channel. Today, I got a bunch of people, I think from Jack Spirko. Jack Spirko is awesome. He's the guy that I got into crypto because of. I got into Bitcoin because of this guy in 2015. Actually, he was talking about it before 2015, but I finally, took the plunge and said, hey, I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in what it can do. It stands up for the little guy, and it says, no to the banks and to the government, and says we can make a better system than you can. And so I said, yeah, I believe in that. I bought a Bitcoin back then, and then started trading it, this year in February, and it's done so well, made over $100,000, able to leave my full-time job, working manual labor. And now I'm doing this full-time. And just this morning, last month, my first month away from my full-time job, I made over $23,000. And that's minus 7 days worth of Thanksgiving, that I didn't even trade. And this month, just today, I made a couple grand this morning, for those of you guys that were paying attention, just trading Bitcoin just by itself, and, not even doing anything on the other alts. And so definitely the opportunity is here. And if you pay attention, you're going to be able to do the same thing, and you make smart calls, you hedge your risk, and, the opportunities are there. So again, let me give those shout outs. And say thank you. Jeremy asked me here on the question. I said, hey, thanks, Jack. I did listen to you. He was saying, if you would have listened to me, you could have paid off your house by now. I said, yeah, I did listen, and was able to leave my full-time job. Now have over 100 episodes on the channel. And you know what, guys? This says episode 99. It was actually 100. I messed up on my count on the way up when I was labeling these, and so I got to change that. This is actually 101. And anyhow, but here in the question, I said, thanks, Jack. And Jeremy said, share your channel. I said, yeah, sure. I wasn't sure about how that works. So also mentioned, I'm intending next year to buy a home cash from the crypto profits. And I believe I will be getting there. So kudos to you guys that are on the roll with me here. And I want to say thank you to the subscriptions that we got today. And my wife's calling me, sorry. Let's look here. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to show me. Okay, I'll just read them. Brian, Victor, Jason, Ablicon, Benjamin, Chris, J-Rod, my man, and Jeremy. Again, thank you for the subscriptions, and hopefully you guys can, gain some information here. I think we've been going for a couple minutes now, 4 minutes ago. So guys, let me get into this. I'm going to do question and answers today. Number one, Tether has been going just suspicious, man. It's been fishy. And today, when I had over $50,000 in Tether at the time, when I saw this wallet maintenance, and it's not all in one place, and it's it's not. And I also, I guess maybe it wasn't 50K, it may have been like 40, because I had some in regular US dollar, not US dollar Tether. And it was over multiple wallets. So When I saw this, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna be on the safe side, pull my money out of Tether, and I wanted you guys to know that as well. And I don't like uncertainty either, Jason. But hey, I think you're starting to think. Oh, and Coinbase went down during the peak, is what I'm hearing. I think Dale mentioned that too. So this is the way to start thinking about things, Jason. Sell limit for 18, great. If that's your target, awesome. Buy for 15. This is the way traders start thinking about things. You look about you start thinking about your exit and then where you want to enter, right? So that is one of the ways you want to be thinking about things, and you also got to be careful with your buys. You guys can read through here some of these. Sell it at 500,000. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was McAfee's calling 500,000. Now I think he was saying 1 million. Bitcoin's going nuts. But yeah, be careful with the buys, guys. This morning I was trading just for a couple of hours, and Poloniex works really smooth. Here's 16,261. So let me click this price, and what happens? I'll just click the Bitcoin value. It'll autofill the Bitcoin value, the price, and the US dollar value here. Or if you're on the Bitcoin tab, the Bitcoin value. So here I'm on the USDT tab. And so when I was on Bittrex, I got used to doing it on Poloniex here. And when I clicked the Bitcoin value that I wanted, and then I hit buy. And here, I'm not signed in, so you see it says sign in. But I would have hit buy, and then it said confirm, and yeah, I did it on Bittrex. When I did it, what happened was I was getting used to this autofill. But the way Bittrex does, if you hit the Bitcoin value, it'll change the Bitcoin value, but not the price. And I had from earlier, like an hour earlier, a $500, above the price that I was wanting to buy it at, and it auto-filled, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think I bought like half a Bitcoin for $500 more than I wanted to. But because of the volatility today, it was not a problem. I actually still made a profit on it. I probably only made a couple $100 on it, but it still, I was happy, I was able to get out from a bad trigger. I was a little trigger happy there, and I didn't check the price until it auto-filled. The window comes up and says, filled at, or, sold at, whatever. And so anyhow, guys, be careful with these. If you put the digit in the wrong place, I lost $100 one time because when I went from like 009 and I meant to put, 10, I put the 1 here in this place. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Instead of putting, like the 1 over a digit, I went from 9 to, I put the 1 here. And so, it was much less than I wanted to sell for. And I don't remember what the currency was. It obviously wasn't Bitcoin. But I lost $100, just by doing that, and sold, for a lot cheaper than what I bought it for. So you got to be careful, when trading, and making sure that you're making the right trade. So let's see here. Let's get back to the questions. So yeah, Trey, man, thank you for the heads up on Bitcoin. I was enjoying the run ups here. And I don't know for sure that this is happening. Sell the news. Trey had mentioned the excuse me, not Trey, Dale. CBOE. I do think, and actually CME was originally saying the 10th, I believe, and now they're saying the 18th. But yeah, CBOE coming in with the futures. I think that is what's going to be the deal here with the news. On the other side of that, guys, we are looking at, if you're looking at the trend, and man, I just don't have time to get to all these questions, guys. This is, later than I was hoping to get here to do this, but I'm just going to skip it. We'll have to talk about it another time. But basically, 20 to 15, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it happens, these swings in Bitcoin, because 20 to 15, is a quarter of the value. And, within a few minutes, it can happen. It's happened before. It's probably going to happen again, maybe at $50,000. Who knows, so more zeros involved. But yeah. Okay, let's just keep moving down. That was, Ledger. Create a new wallet or import a Bitcoin wallet. Man, Marco, I totally say keep your account separate. I don't want things to cross over just on a security basis. I think the better move, and guys, anytime you can take an extra step or two for security. It's generally a good idea. You know, I know not every time you're going to want to do those extra steps, but it really minimizes your risk when you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars, and not everybody's there yet, but it's good to get the practice started early so that when you do get there, and guys, if you're in the space for any time, you start getting into the tens of thousands of dollars, you know, if you manage your risk well. And so you want to start thinking that way. So just that simple step of separating those two wallets, Ether Delta from your ledger, is a good idea, and it gives more points of I guess risk, you know, minimizing your risk, and more points of failure for someone that is, you know, nefariously trying to get back to you know, a payout. Okay, so I say, yeah, keep them separate. Don't put them together. So yeah, my Trezor, my Ledger, my you know, Coinbase, GDAX, Poloniex, Bittrex. I don't know if I said, you know, some of the, it doesn't matter. All of those at my Exodus wallets, I keep different balances on you know, them separately. My Ether Delta, my you know, for Ether Delta, you have to use my Ether wallet, or you can use I just went blank on the little Fox. MetaMask is the other one. So all of those that you do, man, separate balances, and you know, just be careful, man. Err on the side of safety, and yeah, be safe. What are we doing? Correction here. Yeah, so the signals are here, man. Matt, thank you yeah, for the question. What was about the correction, Bitcoin 16,000? Because I was calling correction at 12K, right? Or right under 12K, I believe, is when I was talking. Here we go. About the final warning, right? Was just because, hey, I'm going over the weekend and we got a 9 coming up, which I did pull profit on, and you know, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's look at the chart here. This is the daily chart we're looking at. You see this 9? This 9 tells me, on some exchanges, you have this little 13 right here. It was on the 9 here. And the last 913 was like a 30 plus, I think it was like 35% correction. Okay. So not just the daily, but the weekly also was lining up with a 9 at the time that, you know, it started on a 9. So you're looking at, those are sell signals and pulling profit signals. So I did. And if you look at this candle, there was some correction. You're looking at a $1,400 candle, which up to this point was, you know, pretty hardcore. So 11,847 was the high, 10,465 was the low. So that's $1,400. So if you were to sell anywhere near the high, bought back anywhere near the low, again, here you had a large candle, 11.6 to 10.8, not quite as much, but again, volatility, and part of that is correction. Okay. And so if you were to sell at the high, to buy back at the low, even if you sold, you know, towards the high here and bought back on towards the low here, 10.8 from you know, 11.8 is $1,000. So you know, definitely an opportunity to pull profit, and that's generally what I was playing the highs and lows today, because the volatility is pretty great, 17.2 to 15.2. And I was flipping it, you know, flipping Bitcoin, and it was working really well. So you got to be careful though, you know, however you play it. You guys are looking at me. I forgot to flip the screen. Okay, I'm gonna go back just a minute and try and, gosh, I'm sorry about that, guys. This happens when you're scattered and trying to cover a lot of ground. Look, here's the 9. Again, here's the little 13. It's hard to read based on the way this indicator works, but the 913 on some exchanges was here, and on the weekly, again, it was a 9. The open the week 1127. Okay, so that tells me to pull profit. And again, this candle here is, the high was 11,847, the low 10,465. So that is $1,400 candle. Again, if you would have sold at the high, let's call it, you know, let's say even 11.7 and got back in at 10.8 towards the bottom, or even, you know, that's, you're looking close to, you know, $900+ gain by doing that. Okay. And that's, you know, not quite 10%, but it's a good deal. You know, it's a good amount that you could have gained in Bitcoin if you were to have watched that indicator. Okay. And again, you know, we're rolling up, total bull sign. I'm hoping this 9 is more significant on the pullback, but hey, Bitcoin we could be looking at the entry to adoption here, and we could be looking at some significant upside here. The original from, what was it, like $30 to $1,300 was, or no, 300 to 1,300 was like some 6,000% or something. So we barely hit 1,000. I mean, we're over 1,000%, right now, but we could be looking at a couple thousand more percent on this wave. Okay. So just keep that in mind, though. It is kind of crazy how high we are going. That doesn't mean we're at the top. And people that are going to try and call the top are generally guessing. So you got to be careful, only go as far as you're willing to risk. And as well, don't get greedy. I've been pulling profit this whole time, and I recommend that you guys do the same. So pigs get slaughtered, so be smart. Don't get too greedy like a pig. All right. So as well, let me see here. Chris, let me go ahead and flip the screen. Chris was saying he's made some good picks, and hey man, kudos. I'm so happy to see when guys are doing well, and Salt, I'm pretty excited about. Funfair, I hear good things about it. I haven't been into Polybius. I don't know anything there, but I'm glad that you're climbing your way back up there. And gone red now 11 hours ago. So hey J-Rod, I just saw it. You gave me a thumbs up. Thanks for that, man. Hopefully you can catch some of this. But okay, Sam Blanco, I'm done with ETH, sold it and bought BTC. Show me the money. Yeah, well, hey, if you bought into Bitcoin at 17K, let's see, on Coinbase, because I know you use Coinbase. I don't know if you're using GDAX or not. It's 16.6 now. So that Ethereum, no growth for a little bit, may have been the better play at the moment, depending on where you got in. So try and, I try and think long term, as well as I do trade. So I'm on a regular, day-to-day trading basis. But I also keep that in light of my long term. I do have crypto set aside that I say, I don't want to sell this. I want to hang on to this long term. When I say long term, I'm talking about 2020, which is the Bitcoin halving, which then I'll reevaluate what I think. Some people believe we still have another at least 5 years of bull cycle from these cryptos because we're still so early on. If you think about industries that are that gain adoption, Facebook was 7 years. I was just hearing Marco, I think you were asking about the new that guy with JSNP, and he was talking about Facebook took 7 years worth of adoption cycle, right? And so if we do 5 years from now, and that was when it was gaining adoption, so starting the S curve. And so if we're starting the S curve now and we do 3 or 4 more years, that's amazing, right? You're going to have some awesome gains. So consider that this might not be anywhere close to the top, and I will be trying to sell and buy back, but also on the short term I'm going to be selling highs and buying lows, but in the longer term, all you have to do is hang on. And because we're so early on in this bull cycle, it's going to be doing very well very soon. So just keep that in mind. Try not to get over your, like I said, don't pig out and get slaughtered there. So let's see where we at. Let's go back to the questions. Let me flip the screen. Hopefully I flipped the screen earlier, guys, and I didn't leave you hanging there. Okay, so that was GDAX. Let me look at my notes real quick. Again, Trey, thanks for the heads up over here when you're talking about Coinbase going down. I hadn't even looked at GDAX, and going from 20K to 15 is amazing. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a majority of the things that I wanted to talk about for the time being. Again, who was it? I think it was Marco that had said JSNP. Yeah. Okay. Let me just show you here the question. Your thoughts on JSNP and his Trader Boss stories, also about this trading class page going live. I started watching the thing that he released on YouTube about his intro class, and this guy's supposed to be a millionaire trading, on Forex, before he ever got into cryptos, and he does he likes Elliott Wave, and so if that's something you're into, that'd be a guy to learn from. I'm not comfortable with Elliott Wave. It's not an indicator that I use. You know, some people swear by it, but there's any indicator that people can swear by, you know, that's what they use. And guys, what I said before, if it works for you, keep using it, you know. If it, you know, starts being wrong every time, that's when you know, you want to reevaluate. But here's the deal, Jason, you were talking about, you know, is that how real traders work? You know, and my response is, you know, that you can't win every trade. The truth is that you're going to miss trades, right? So the whole deal of trading is that you make more than you lose. And so if you stay in the positive with cryptos, it's much easier because of the part of the cycle that we're in, that we are. In fact, I got to show you guys this portfolio that I set up where I bought just the cheapest coins on Poloniex, and I don't know how many months I did it. I believe it was less than 6 months, and you know, I was up 30% just by holding on to them, guys. And I'll have to show you guys that another time. I keep forgetting about that. But basically, what I'm saying is, crypto, you have a lot more headspace and a lot more. This is a, you know, it's like the softball of trading, right? A lot of other, you know, unless you're using margin, you're using, you know, leverage and which I do not recommend, or you're shorting, you know, which I also do not recommend. It's kind of like softball, you know, where it's not the major leagues, and so you can. It's a little more forgiving because we're on such an uptrend, you know. So anyhow, hopefully, you know, you see that, you know, that you might not win every trade, but a good day trader or a good trader in general is just making more than he's losing. And for me, you know, I'm making way more than I'm losing. Obviously, I've shown you guys my profits, and you know, we keep going. I'm telling you, and guys, this isn't the only time that I wanted to leave my full-time job, but you know, I realized that I can make a lot more money betting on myself than letting somebody else sign a paycheck for me, you know. And you know, that's really you know, a personal thing. It's very freeing, and hopefully you guys are, you know, come to that situation where you're like, man, I think I could do better off on my own than you know, working for somebody that doesn't really care about me, that, you know, signs my paychecks. And you know, but that's a very freeing thing, and hopefully you guys get that to experience that. And when you see these checks, you know, coming in for, well, checks, when you see these gains from cryptos, you know, a lot of you, I think, will be able to have that opportunity, you know, if you're smart about it. So anyhow, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, I don't see any here. I'm going to be wrapping up. You can email me at marco@howtobuycrypto.com. You can hit me up. The fastest way I'll get back to you is Facebook or YouTube. And happy to talk with you. Happy to answer your questions. Guys, I'm going to try and do this as often as I can. It is very difficult right now. But hey, we'll keep plugging away and get after it. So God bless you guys, and I will see you later.